Hello everybody, welcome to another Saturday vlog where I sit and think for about 10 minutes what happened last week, because usually nothing much happened. Something interesting did happen last Sunday, at least interesting in the sense of something I hadn't done previously, at least in a long time, and that was driving a very long distance, which I hadn't done in a long time either. The last time that I drove a long distance was for work, and that was around 2007, so quite a while ago. I used to go to all the different offices of the place that I worked at to deliver like computer hardware, stuff like that. And I would go all around the country because we had offices all around the country. And then I didn't have to drive anywhere for work for a long time, and then I bought a car last year or the year before, one of those two. And I just did like short trips back and forth to the grocery store, drove with my dad once to get his camper van moved to another location, etc. Had to follow him in the car. That was probably the longest trip I had driven with my car at that time. And in between then, I just drove to the grocery store, like I said, once a week to keep the engine going. And the last couple of weeks, I did actually go to the office, which is about a 20-minute drive, so it was always around 10 to 20 minutes usually. Now last Sunday my mom had her birthday, so she lives about an hour and a half away from me by car, and I was initially going to go by train because I was like, yeah, it's a lot more relaxed to go by train, even though you do have to wear a face mask now. I'm just going to go sit in the train and just, I don't know, read a book or something, comb the dog's hair, whatever it is that I want to do. And then actually what happened was, when I came back on Saturday driving my car, I couldn't put the car anywhere in my entire area because it was so busy. I had to go park the car on the other side of the main road, which is a completely different neighborhood. And I was like, okay, I don't like having my car in a different neighborhood, so I'll just see Sunday morning if there's a space available for me to put the car in my own neighborhood, and then I'll drive the car over to that space, and then I'll take the train over to my mom's place. And that did not end up happening because there was no space available on Sunday morning. For whatever reason, last weekend it was super busy in the entire neighborhood, so I had to leave the car where it was or drive it. And then I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it because I've driven on highways recently a couple of times, and to ease myself into it, I guess, getting to and from work. And then I thought, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just drive up there, hour and a half away, and we'll see how it goes. And all in all, went pretty well. Didn't actually have much problems. I wasn't expecting too much problems, but of course it's kind of like I'm the type of driver who thinks things are gonna go badly. I prepare for the worst and then I actually go and drive, and there's no problem or anything like that because I have learned, of course, to drive, etc. And a lot of stuff is just muscle memory and things like that. So I really don't have much issues on the road, but I feel like this negative thinking comes over me, like, oh, it's gonna go this way, it's gonna go that way, we're gonna encounter all sorts of problems, there's gonna be traffic jams, and then I go drive and nothing actually happens. So that's usually how I do things. So the main thing that happened during the whole there and back is that there's a limit to our speed that we're allowed to drive. Between 6 in the morning and 7 at night, you're not allowed to go over 100 kilometers per hour on most highways here, or interstates, whatever you want to call them. I'll make sure to put like the miles per hour on the screen because I don't know that by heart. Where we would normally be allowed to go 120 kilometers per hour. So you should drive 100 kilometers per hour as a top speed on the highway, but most people, they think you're dangerous if you do that because most people go around 110, 120, and they pass you with 130, 140. So if you're going 100, you're basically the grandpa on the road, and everybody tries to swerve around you. Well, swerve. They do try to do it like gradually, but you know what I mean. You're the car that everybody passes, basically. And then on the way back, it was after 7 in the evening, so you would think, okay, now I can drive 120 kilometers per hour, and now we should be able to keep up with traffic. And nope, people were passing me with 140 at that time, and 150, because whenever the speed limit goes up, everybody's speed goes up with it, but not to the speed limit. Not that I was like being dangerous on the road by trying to stick to that 100 kilometer over and 120 back, because I want to, at least I was taught to keep up with the rest of traffic, and if the rest of traffic is going 110, 120, you're gonna have to risk getting a ticket. So at least that's not really logical, but it's also dangerous to be the slow one on the interstate. So you need to make sure to keep up with traffic. And the fortunate thing is that I did look up the route before I left, and the site that I looked it up on, I actually just wanted to see if there was any road work ahead that I wasn't aware of. But turns out it also shows where the speed cameras are. So it showed that the route that I had selected actually didn't have any speed cameras. So I was like, okay, that's fortunate. Not that I was intending to speed. But of course, as I'm going down the road trying to keep up with traffic, I'm like, oh, it's a good thing there's no speed cameras here because there's lots of speeding going on left and right. You never know, of course. There may have been a mobile speed camera. We'll see if anything arrives in the mail. So far, I haven't had any tickets arrive in my mailbox that I'm aware of. Don't think that they send them digitally, so it should still be paper. I don't know. Otherwise, we'll see a notice at some point arriving. No idea. So far, no tickets. And actually, it would be kind of like a rite of passage for me to even get a speeding ticket, because I've never actually had a ticket for my car. And of course, saying that now probably means I'm going to get one soon. So just knock on wood real quick. There. Hope they heard that. And we'll see how that goes. So we had a long trip over and a long trip back. And the route itself, when it's near my house, there's still a little bit of like turn left, turn right, etc. But then after a certain while, about 20 minutes into the trip, you get a very long stretch of highway with no variation for about, I want to say, what would that be, about 45 minutes? Something like that. And it's just really boring, and you just keep going straight ahead, and you just mind your traffic a little bit. And that's all that happens. But okay, the car's had a good run again, of course. That's good for the engine to occasionally go onto the highway to remove all the gunk that's been building up, I guess, by just going for short trips at low speeds. You gotta blow that out every once in a while. At least that's what I've been told. So yeah, car's had a good run. And we'll see about next time when I go there, if I take the car or not. Maybe I will, I don't know, just to keep the car going. So that's the whole car story. I haven't actually driven to work in between time at all, so other than that, not much has happened. I did order a nail file for the dog, an automatic one that can file her nails down, because she doesn't like it when I try to touch her paws anyway, and she certainly doesn't like it when I try to cut her with those clippers. She really hates that, and so I try not to do that because I don't want to cut the nail and then have her bleeding, because there is like this little vein that goes into the nail, and I've actually heard that if you let the nail grow, then the little vein grows with it, goes closer to the outside of the nail, but if you then file the nail down, then it starts to recede again back into the paw. So I think that's also a good idea to use the nail file on her, so that I don't have to use this clipping thing, which does put a lot of pressure on the nail, and then suddenly there's this click thing, and that's really scary for her. She's scared of a lot of things. So nail clippers are not for her. And hopefully, if the reviews on the nail file that I ordered are any indication, it's going to be much easier with her, because it's supposed to be noiseless, and it's yeah, just the rotating head thing that's going to whittle down her nails. So she'll have shorter nails. Not that her nails are super long now. Well, the ones that are actually in contact with the ground are like a normal length. But there's always this little side thing on the, I can't see that with the coffee, but you'll have like, if these are like the regular nails on the dogs, then there's always one that's kind of off in the back like this, and this one on the side is definitely like longer because it hasn't made any contact with the ground. So that's the first one I'm going to be filing down to a acceptable length. And of course we still have to get her hair done, because by that I mean have to shorten it, because she has a lot of very long hair, particularly on her paws, which she doesn't like me to touch. And that means that lots of little things get stuck in there. Do I have one by any chance? Yeah, managed to dig one up for you. So this is what I mean. Can you see that? Look, it's like this little barbed thing. There's a whole bunch of them. They're almost like wheat kernels, but they have mostly these little spikes on them, and they are very good at getting stuck in dogs' hair. So that's what's been happening a lot with her. And because her hair is kind of long-ish right now, she's got tons of them all over the place. So every day I've got to check several times to see if there's anything bothering her. She'll usually let you know if there's one annoying spot, because the end bit of that little, whatever you would call it, is kind of pointy, so that can stick into her skin, and the long feathery bits on the other side of course tickle, and that makes it really annoying. And whenever she's scratching, I'm sure to check if there's anything else going on. She's also got her flea drops, of course, because it is still in the middle of summer. it is in the middle of summer, so there's lots of fleas and things around as well, so just to make sure she's okay. Other than that, nothing much has happened in the week. Also not much going on this weekend. I've got one more week of work and then I've got 3 weeks off, and then I'll just see if I can drive around and do some fun stuff. I don't know. Was thinking about ordering maybe a VR headset so I could do some VR stuff, because we can't really travel anywhere right now, so maybe I could do some traveling on the VR landscape. That might be fun. I've seen plenty of people recording stuff on VR headsets, and so I've seen lots of VR stuff, but actually haven't experienced much myself. So that might be a fun and interesting experience. So that's something I want to do. Other than that, not much going on. Like I said, I'm going to go to the thrift store today again. I usually do that on Saturdays just to see, and it's nice weather, so I'm going to go walk to make sure that I get a little bit more exercise, because I'm trying to get back onto the diet thing that I used to do before the corona thing broke out. I was doing calorie counting, and of course I walked to the grocery store every day during my lunch break, at least on the work days. So that would be my exercise, and of course with the calorie restrictions, that would mean I would slowly but surely lose some weight. And now with the whole corona thing and the lockdown having been around, or behind me, because other people are still working from home, but no, we're still going to the office. And so that's been going on. I've been not moving so much, and of course there's a little bit of a stressed eating involved as well. Like, it's not really stress that I'm scared of the coronavirus, but more stress that things are just, I don't know, just kind of whenever I get bored, I start to eat more, and I think a lot of people have had that as well. Frustration, I think, would be a better word for it. More frustration rather than stress. I just feel like doing something, so I get up and check the fridge if there's anything in there that's interesting, and then I'll eat that. And that's how you gain all the weight, etc., if you don't have much exercises going on. So yeah, I've been doing more walking now, of course, that we are back at the office, because I go to do my lunch walk every day, and now I'm also trying to get back to the calorie counting so I can get back on track. Didn't lose too much progress. I mean, I'm still in a good range, but it's, of course, any progress lost is annoying, and I still have ways to go to the goal weight that I have, so we'll see how long that takes. It doesn't really matter how long it takes as long as I get there. And I think the longer it takes, probably better, because if you're losing weight slowly, then that means your diet hasn't really changed that much. And that means that by the time you reach the required weight, the weight that you want, you won't have to make such a radical switch back to an old diet, so to speak, which is what got you into the heavier set mode initially anyway. So that's good, because then you can just continue to eat the way you're eating, perhaps eat a little bit more to stay like maintain your weight, go back to the 2000 or 2500, whichever is best recommended for you, so that you can stay on your weight and not continue to lose weight against your will. I don't know. Probably easier for a person who is normally more likely to gain weight to stay on their weight rather than continue to lose it, because there is a certain habit ingrained there. But okay, we'll see about that in a bit. Either way, I'm going to enjoy my Saturday and my weekend. Hope you're doing the same. Make sure to stay safe, and I'll see you next weekend. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.